2016. You had Rahul Gandhi who said the Prime Minister indulged in khoon ki dalali. The result was the BJP won 324 seats in 2017 UP Assembly polls. Then, in December 2017, you once again had Manishankar Aiyar calling Prime Minister Modi neech. And the result was the BJP won Gujarat Assembly polls with 49.1 percentage votes. Let me give you some other examples. Just between the timeline of 2018 to 19, there were multiple other instances as well. You had Rahul Gandhi calling the Prime Minister commander-in-chief. Manishankar Aiyar once again calling the Prime Minister neech. You even had Mayawati jumping in who said that Modi abandoned his wife. And the Congress launched the Chaukidar Chor Hai campaign. The result of all of this was the BJP won 303 seats in 2019 Lok Sabha polls. But this is where the criticism is coming in from the Congress party. That can the BJP really take the moral high ground, considering the fact name-calling seems to have become a pattern? Let me give you some examples where the BJP decided to go forward and take some jibes. You had MLA Nitesh Rane in November of 2022 who tweeted that this Pappu will never pass. You had seen very extreme reactions from the Congress at that point of time. In October 2022, you had Gaurav Bharatiya also making comparisons as far as Rahul Gandhi with Ravan is concerned. Then in September 2022, you had the BJP calling Arvind Kejriwal megalomaniac. In October 2015, you had MJ Akbar calling Rahul Gandhi inept spoiled child. In 2013, in October, you had Amit Shah who referred with various names to Rahul Gandhi as Pappu as well. So the larger question that we're asking today is, with this name calling and jibes, is this a strategy or a mistake? At this point, let me bring in our guest to take this conversation forward to try and understand whether all of these name-calling jibes will have a resonance with the voters on the ground. I have the spokesperson of the BJP, Toheen Sinha, who is joining us. From the Congress, we have Mahima Singh. We also have political analyst Dr. Piyush Jha. We're hoping to be joined by Yuvraj Pokarna, senior journalist as well. Toheen, I'd like to begin the conversation with you. How did you see these comments that were made by the Congress president?
Well, good evening to you and to all the viewers. Essentially, from 2007, when Sonia Gandhi used the term Maut ka Saudagar, to 2022, when Mallikarjun Kharge ji uses the term Ravan, nothing seems to have changed for the Congress party. It shows their moral and intellectual bankruptcy, but more importantly, it shows a tendency to constantly run down the person whom the state has been voting for in such big numbers for the last 25 years. So, somewhere the Congress needs to think positive, because if earlier Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi would be making these statements, then they outsourced it to people like Manishankar Aiyar, and now Mallikarjun Kharge is at the helm of it. But the thing is, they have nothing to offer to Gujarat, no positive agenda. Rahul Gandhi, in fact, has escaped Gujarat. He's nowhere to be seen, barring those 2 days when he was there. So obviously, I think instead of accepting their bankruptcy of ideas, if they went out their frustration on the Prime Minister, they have, I wish them good luck. But it only shows the constant decline of the Congress party and the constant suicide mode in which they have been in since 2007.
Mahima, before I get talking about the work that is being promised by various political parties and the kind of manifestos that we've already seen, the point that is being made by the BJP is this. So what if we're using the Modi factor? Because the BJP doesn't distinguish between a MCD election, between a general election. The intent to work for the party, the intent to work for the country is the same for us. And we are led by example by the Prime Minister. What's the harm in that?
Thank you for having me on your panel this evening, Ridhima. I'll come to your question, but before that, just now I heard the BJP spokesperson say that there's been a decline in the Congress party. Let me ask those who have caused the decline of the democracy, that where was Gandhi born? Gandhiji was born on the soil of Gujarat, and we've been seeing the backlash from the BJP. And what you are saying right now is right, Ridhima, that, they are projecting the face of one man, that's Modi ji, for every election. They don't distinguish between all these elections. That's fair. But we are not a developed nation, rather a developing nation. We are getting there. We are not in America where there's a presidential election where people go and vote for one face. And if that is happening, then that is exactly what our president has pointed towards. by saying that when there is a fallout in your constituency, in a municipality, you are not going to go and question Modi ji. You will have to catch hold of your candidate. And so the question is the BJP not confident enough of the candidates that they are projecting? Because for every single election that they are projecting, only Modi ji's face. And when we point out to that, and when we respond in their own language, to the BJP, they cry foul. They cry foul that we have
But
wronged the
Mahima,
son of
what
son of
essentially I'm trying to understand is that, even if you want to critique the way in which the BJP is working, is this the only way that is available to the Congress party? And when you go forward and say that we're responding to them in their own language, do two wrongs really make a right? What is the point that is being proven by the Congress party? I thought when elections are happening, work is what is all that will matter to the voters. Why are you indulging yourself in name calling? And more importantly, the man who's being referred by the Congress president is not just head of one political party, but at the end of the day, he's the prime minister of the country. And we all have a certain responsibility in respect to that man simply because of the position.
You're right, Ridhima, in saying that two wrongs will not make any right, and our responsibilities towards the democracy. And I started by saying decline of the democracy is what the BJP has caused. And I pointed towards Gandhiji earlier, because what I was really going to say is that they're crying foul that we have wronged the son of the soil by, or we are reflecting our hate towards the son of the soil or a Gujarati. Well, it is the BJP and RSS who caused the death of the father of this nation, Mahatma Gandhiji, and that's where I was going. And they're calling the son of the soil, the prime minister of this country, who ruled that state for about 13 years. And the BJP has ruled that state chronologically for 27 years. Yet, 39% of the total number of children below the age of 5, just for instance, I'm quoting this one example, their growth is stunted. That's what the BJP has done to Gujarat. And what Congress did to this country and to the people of Gujarat is we gave laws like Narega, the laws like food security bill, laws like right to education, which has helped this country in a crisis like COVID. They have, those who mocked at Narega have actually relied upon the same law during COVID to provide for the country.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Mahima. That's what I'm saying. You critique them on policy, you critique them on the lack of work that is not being done, you critique them on promises that were made on the manifesto and the ground reality. That is your job. But only point that we're essentially trying to understand is, where does the name calling take any political party? And the reason I started with that analysis of when this name calling has been done by the Congress party, the results have actually gone in favor of the BJP. But Tuhin, before I go to my other guests also, the point that is also being made by the Congress here is, can the BJP really have a higher moral ground? Name calling seems to have become a pattern that is acceptable by every political party. So when you do it, it's fine. When we do it, it becomes an issue. Why?
Well, essentially from what I heard from the Congress spokesperson, they seem very happy at having lost the habit of winning. And, they seem to be justifying everything, whether it was the falsehood of RSS role in Gandhi's murder, because eventually RSS was completely exonerated, and Nehru, in fact, felicitated RSS in 1963 on the Republic Day because of the help they provided during the 62 war. So I think, they should grow out of this falsehood. As when it comes to the work that we have done in Gujarat, we have transformed lives in ways which Congress can never imagine. Go to the Kevadia region, you will see how a tribal region today has a flourishing economy of its own because of its development into a tourist zone. Go to a village like Modera, you see other villages are on the cusp of a solar revolution. So these are things which the Congress cannot even think of doing in the near future. Yes, we have resorted to name calling. Okay. Certain spokespersons or certain leaders may or may not have been right, but the point
Tuhin and Mahima, I'll just request you both to just stay on with us. I'll request our other guests also to stay on with us, because at this point we also have BJP MP and senior BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad also now joining us on the broadcast. So thank you so much for taking our time and joining us here on CNN News 18. I first want to begin by understanding, how did you see the comments that were made by the Congress president?
It is shocking. It defies logic. It is beyond the realm of democratic standards of propriety. That's all. Can you just believe? You can criticize. That's what democracy is about.
Sure.
But the Congress president kind of showering abuses in the most virulent terms. I don't want to repeat it. And by the way, it is not new. Maut ka Saudagar was launched by Sonia ji earlier. You know it very well. झूठ की खेती करते हैं. Rahul Gandhi in 2019, Chaukidar, thereafter I don't want to repeat it. We have got a catalogue of the kind of abuses Narendra Modi has been suffering at the hands of Congress leaders. It is a pattern, deliberate pattern, to denigrate Modi ji, come what may. And they are not realizing that whenever they do, they suffer serious electoral reverse. Yet they do. I can only infer this, that it has approval from the top, number one, and there is a lurking kind of a reluctance to recognize Narendra Modi as the leader or the Prime Minister.
So
Okay,
the Congress
regardless
is
of the
saying
victory.
that the larger point
I
that was
think
being... Sure. So the Congress is saying that the larger point that they were making is, if you continue to bank on the Modi factor, or if you continue to use the Prime Minister's face, the larger question that is being raised is, what about the others as far as the party is concerned? Is nobody else working?
My reply is simply this: if the national president of the Congress party is not being properly used in Gujarat, where I am sitting for the last more than 10 days, it's not our problem. All the BJP leaders are campaigning in Gujarat or not. The Prime Minister, the Home Minister, the UP Chief Minister, so many other Chief Ministers, all the state leaders, and many of them are working as booth level coordinators, apart from the extraordinary machinery of the Congress BJP here in Gujarat. All of us are sitting here or not. Therefore, who has given this license? And even if you have any problem, what kind of words are you using? And that too by the All India President of the party. It is an abuse of a leader today who is globally one of the most popular leaders of the world. You have heard the pride of Indians who love Modi ji. You have heard the pride of Gujaratis who also adore Modi ji. That's the point. If you can't find a, and let me tell you, Mr. Khadge is not a new phenomenon in the politics of India. He claims that he has long years in Gujarat, in Karnataka, more than 50 years. MLA, MP, minister, he's central minister, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, and now the All India President. Therefore, he knows the nuances of the polity of the country. Or for him to use it repeatedly is something very shocking.
So, before I talk to
Yesterday
you
also
about,
he made one
as
more
far
comment
as
I'd
this...
like to come.
Sure. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
No, you please complete your query now.
Sure. So essentially, I was trying to
you
understand
complete now,
before I talk to you about the pattern of this name calling. The other allegation that's coming in from the Congress is that right from the MCD elections to general elections, if the BJP continues to bank on the Modi factor and use the face of the Prime Minister, how is the voter on the ground going to have any accountability if they won't know anybody else?
Did Modi ji campaign for the MCD in Delhi? Campaign is going on or not? So many BJP leaders, central ministers are moving from gully to gully or not? What kind of logic is this? Yes, we are not a family party. We campaign, but Modi is our leader, the most popular leader. People trust him. What's your problem? If your leaders are not trusted by the people of India, don't cast these kinds of aspersion against the popularity of Narendra Modi ji. But a larger question, let me again put to you. You can debate, you can criticize, you can discuss, you can disagree. That is what the beauty of democracy is about. But you will make a foul play repeatedly. That's the point I'm trying to highlight. And the way that, and let me take the opportunity talking to you from Gujarat. Sardar Patel, the tallest leaders of India, did Mr. Khadge or Sonia ji or Rahul Gandhi even decided to offer their respect at the great statue of Sardar Patel at Kevadia? I'm asking a question. What is this? The biggest leaders of modern India, and I'm putting this question to you here You can ask to some Congress people if
Sure.
you so like. Sardar Patel died in 1950, who unified the country. And you must know, out of nearly 556 riyasats of the country, he was handling all 555. Nehruji only handled Jammu and Kashmir. There is no problem elsewhere from Junagadh to Hyderabad to Udaipur to Jaipur to Jodhpur. What happened in Kashmir, you all know, 2019, ultimately Article 370 was removed. Sardar Patel, a real Desh Ratna, died in 1950. He was given a Bharat Ratna in 1991.
Sure.
Who was the Prime Minister in 1991? Narasimha Rao. And if someone from the family would have been the Prime Minister, this job also would have been done by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, as he did in the case of Loknaik, JP and others.
But sir, you know, this
That's
is
the point
where
I'm trying to
the
say.
criticism once again coming in
point
from the
is-
Congress
the point-
is
the-
that
the-
when the BJP indulges in name calling, it's fine. When the Congress does it, why does it become a controversy?
Well, name calling is different. Name calling presupposes abuse. Criticizing is fine. That's what democracy is about. Questioning is fine. Raising serious issues of lapses is fine. What is wrong with this? If they are having a hoarding in Gujarat, काम बोले छो, they are not in power for the last 27 years. तो क्या
Sure.
काम बोलता है आपका?
Sure.
This is criticism. This is criticism. Name calling is abuse. But let me revert to that question. Why Sardar Patel was ignored repeatedly by the Congress government? Because he was a critic of Nehruji. Why was Subhash Chandra Bose ignored? His statue was installed when
Sure.
Modi ji decided to give him respect in Rajghat. That's the point.
Okay.
Only the family has got the mandate to rule,
Sure.
the lineage to rule, and anyone else, who are you, how you came.
Sure.
That's the larger question you must understand.
So the question that is
And
being
therefore
raised by
we
the
are
BJP
very
is that yes, we are led by example. We believe in the leadership of the Prime Minister, and there is no harm if we're still banking on the factor, because real work on the ground will speak. Sir, I really appreciate you taking out the time and joining us here. We leave the conversation there. I quickly now want to go back to our guests who are patiently waiting as well. Let me go back to Dr. Piyush Joshi, who continues to be with us. Dr. Piyush Joshi, between this back and forth of these barbs and jibes, the larger question is, does any of this actually have any resonance on the ground?
Well, the political parties will certainly try to put the element of resonance to it. They will try really hard. Congress is fighting a losing battle. It's searching for its relevance into the hearts and minds of the anti-Modi voters, and that's why it has garnered some headlines through this statement of Mr. Mallikarjunji Kharge. He's a very respected leader. He comes from Dalit community. He has also tried to play the Dalit card yesterday, saying that nobody wants to drink, drink tea at his house. It's really sad if that's the state of the national president of the party. So what are they trying to do? They are trying to divert attention and they are trying to garner some headlines. Having said that, I don't think that the people of Gujarat are going to vote for this victim card. What they are going to vote for are the real core issues on the ground: the school education, the primary health care, the unemployment rate, the increasing inflation. So that's what the ordinary people of Gujarat is going to vote for. Conventionally, the fight has been two-sided only between the Congress and the BJP, and now there is a third player in
With
the
Aam Aadmi
in the
Party.
game. That is the Aam Aadmi Party.
Hmm.
The Aam Aadmi Party has demonstrated its model of governance to some extent. I would not say that to an entirely, completely functioning extent, but the school model and the higher education model, as well as the primary healthcare center model through the mohalla clinics, is very much in play.
Okay.
So I think the third, this third player has forced the Congress party to make such statements. and to just gain some ground is the core
I agree with the
intention
point that
behind
Dr.
Minister
Piyush
Khadge
Joshi is
making this.
making. And Yuvraj, this is what I want to, this is where I want to bring you in. This is where the criticism against the Congress party is coming. That the reason that we are seeing comments like this today is because even the Congress party probably is realizing that there is an inroad that is being made by the Aam Aadmi Party and they will win at the cost of the Congress.
So, Namaste. Ridhima, Congress cussing and dissing Narendra Modi is not something new. It has been for a while. And let me start with a word. There's a word for that in English, incorrigible. One that is bad beyond repairs. See, political parties accusing, smearing each other, taking pot shots is not something new. But the logic says if it helps you, you can do it. As they say, everything is fair in love, war, and elections. But I think it has been for a while. Sonia Gandhi, let me quote a few examples. Sonia Gandhi in 2007, Maut ka Saudagar. Priyanka Vadra on May 2014, Neech Rajniti. Rahul Gandhi on October 2016, Khoon ki Dalali. Rahul Gandhi, September 28, Chaukidar Chor hai. Khadge ji now, Ravan with 100 heads. Madhusudan Mistry, औकात दिखा देंगे.
True.
Sanjay Nirupam, Modi अनपढ़ गवार. Manishankar Ayyar in 2017, नीच आदमी. And last but not least, Mr. Salman Khurshid in 2014, Modi is Napunsak. So dissing each other, if it helps you, you can do it because everything is fair in politics. But the thing is, the list goes on and goes on. It is not helping Congress. If you consider the consequences, and I have listed a few. 2007 elections, Congress won 59 seats in Gujarat.
Yeah.
2014 elections, Congress was confined to 44 seats merely, and that too from the grand old party.
Yeah.
2017 UP elections, 7 seats. 2019
this
national
is exactly the analysis I did when I started the show, and that is why I asked Mahima at that time that are these barbs and jibes actually working on the ground? Mahima, I want to bring you back in. More than are they actually having a resonance on the ground, the larger question is, haven't they already backfired in the past for the Congress party? As far as the Chaukidar Chore jibe was concerned, that reached the court, there was legal action taken and apology was demanded as well. So hasn't the Congress learned its lesson is the question being asked?
Well, is it only for the Congress to learn its lessons, Ridhima, is what I want to ask you. And by asking you, I'm putting that question out to the audience also of your show. Are all the lessons only to be learnt by the Congress? And a while ago, I was hearing the spokesperson of the BJP say that the Congress is too happy losing. Let me say this to the BJP spokesperson and to all the hoodlums that attach with the party and who are rejoicing in the current political scenario of the country, which is threatening for the democracy, that we have been very happy keeping the democracy alive over the last 75 years. And so we are happy, accepting if we have a defeat on our platter. That's also fine because that's what the public is catering to us. But we'll not sit quietly, accepting all the dirty splashes made on our faces by the BJP and the likes of them. A while ago, you had asked me that, should you respond back in the same language? Well, maybe not so. We do not believe in tit for tat. We are not. We don't come from that ideology.
And that's why, Mahima, the question is, when you hear such comments from the president, nonetheless, is it then coming from the top command of the Gandhis? Is the question that one asks. That if this was any other leader, the Congress could have distanced themselves and said that we don't actually endorse it. But when your president goes forward and make these comments, who's a veteran, the larger question that is being asked is that is this the mindset that the Congress wants to reflect today? But I believe Tuhin wants to come in. Tuhin?
No, just allow me 2 more seconds.
Unfortunately,
Mahima, I'll come back to you. Mahima, I'll come back to you. Tuhin.
Unfortunately, the present day Congress is delusional. It is making tall claims of having restored democracy in the country. But the fact is, the only 2 years when democracy did not exist and when emergency was imposed, it was done by a Congress prime minister. So does that party have any moral authority to wax eloquent on democracy? This is why I say the Congress is out of touch with reality. It is delusional. Now, coming to name calling, please understand there is a difference between name calling and abusing. What the Congress has been doing is out and out abusing. Yes, certain leaders of ours have called names.
Bharatiya did the same too.
Please allow me to complete. Certain leaders from our party have called names to Congress leaders, like called Pappu, which I may not condone. But at the end of it, the fact is that when a certain name of this nature has been called to a Congress leader, people of the country seem to have agreed with it. But when it comes to abuse of Modi ji, the people of the country have been livid because the acceptance level of Modi ji is overwhelming. But yes, if Rahul Gandhi continues with his antics during the Bharat Jodo Yatra, people will call certain names.
Okay, I'd like to give the final.
Ridhima,
Okay, Mahima, 30 seconds, and then I want to give the final word to Dr. Joshi.
Yeah. Let me. I in fact resonate with Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, who made quite a point, earlier on your show when he was talking about the culture, about the dignity that must be maintained while criticizing. And I hope he taught that lesson well in time to his own leaders and his own party workers, because that clearly is not the scenario here. Your screen is a proof. You had, in the prelude of your show, you had quite laid down a list of all the abuses that the BJP has hurled on the Congress. And so we need to ask a question here, what you just asked me. That is the acceptance for hate speeches in BJP government from the very top, as Ravi Shankar Prasad ji said, or as you have also suggested. We are sitting in the opposition. We are only pointing out,
Okay.
to Modi ji's actions or the BJP's actions very logically, and in that context.
Okay.
If the context of
I just want to
100
give the
heads
final
right
word at this point to Dr. Joshi, saying, will this name calling result in change of wind or change of guard as far as Gujarat is concerned? Final word.
It's very clear that people are going to vote on the basis of the work done. If